We are a restaurant right smack dab in the middle of Midtown Manhattan. We are located at 21 West 52nd Street, about 100 yards west of Fifth Avenue, nestled among a number of skyscraper buildings here. And we've been in business for, this is our 81st year. The food is American cuisine, some of the finest American cuisine that you can have. We have arguably one of the best 6 or 7 wine lists in New York City. And speaking of wine list, we also have something in the building that nobody else has, and that's our wine cellar, which does date back to Prohibition days. It was constructed in 1930 after 21 had been raided during Prohibition, and its illegal spirits at the time confiscated by the government. The owners constructed the secret wine cellar in the basement, and to conceal it they put a secret door which is part of the foundation wall. It is still used just as it was 80 years ago. We also use the wine cellar as a dining room, so we'll do lunches for up to 22 people or dinner for up to 22 people, and it's really quite special. It's really quite unique. People will dine in there and be surrounded by some of the nicest wines imaginable.
When they see the wine cellar, they're always floored when you bring them to the wine cellar, because when you enter that door, that wall that literally opens, it's such an amazing piece of apparatus and such a cool thing. It's such a draw that that's the second thing I always do. I always feed them first, then the wine cellar next, because I don't want to get them overhyped with the wine cellar, then feed them.
When you first go into the wine cellar and you see that wall open, it was amazing what it is. And you open it up and you feel like you are stepping into something significant.
Downstairs is a 150-seat restaurant, which is the original restaurant that dates back to 1930. The bar room has a ceiling full of toys and memorabilia and corporate logos and icons and different bric-a-brac that might be up there. And people ask, well, what are those? And they date back to the 30s and 40s, when airlines were some of the biggest businesses in the United States, long before the investment banking craze and the big name chefs that we have today. And one day, one of the British Airways chairman asked Jack Crindler, who was the owner at the time of 21, if he could put his plane over the table, because he was having some very important people in for lunch and he wanted to impress them. So, of course, everybody else in the room was some type of CEO and heavy hitter as well, so they see one person doing it and they have to have it too. So we did a count, and I think we had close to 900 pieces in the ceiling. It's everything from a football helmet given by every owner in the National Football League, to a bat from Willie Mays, to a Jack Nicklaus golf club, to ice skates from Dorothy Hamill, or a tennis racket, make that a smash tennis racket from John McEnroe in the ceiling.
That's one of the really neat things, is this is it transcends the concept of a restaurant. It really is a nexus point that just collects people from all around the world, and people want to continue to be a part of it, so they continue to donate fun little things. I am the captain of the upstairs at 21, and I operate not only as the captain, but the maitre d', sommelier, and the general bon vivant of the room. So it's a lot of fun.
This is a small little jewel of 30 seats here, one flight above the bar room, and we're surrounded by 4 murals of New York, all done in period. These are around 1935. This is Broadway with the Astor roof and the Astor Hotel, which now these days is the Marriott Marquis. Behind you is the Grand Army Plaza. That's the Plaza Hotel, and to the left here is the mural of Rockefeller Center and Saks Fifth Avenue in the background. And behind me is my favorite, and that's the Bethesda Fountain in Central Park.
We get a lot of questions, obviously, about who sat here and what have you.
I can remember Henry Kissinger telling me we'll be invading Iraq in the next 3 months before it ever happened, and he actually picked the month that it was going to happen, so I thought that was very interesting. And you know, one of the first people I'll always start off with, I'll say, have you ever met Nelson Mandela? And they'll say, no. And I said, well, I have. And they said, really? And I said, yeah. And I said, and it's amazing. You can say, well, yeah, Nelson Mandela and Oprah Winfrey and Henry Kissinger, and there was a whole list, and that was all in one day, you know, over here at a luncheon one day when Mr. Mandela was first freed. So it was quite a thing. But you talk about until George W. Bush decided to break our string, we had every president since FDR here.
There used to be a letter, I don't know where it is these days, of Harry Truman when he was president saying, you know, I wish I could get up to 21 more often, but this White House gig keeps me pretty busy.
A lot of people ask, what are the jockeys outside? Where do they come from, and what is the derivation of those? What's the history behind those? Well, a number of years ago, the then owner of a stable at the time asked if 21, knowing that they had two of their own at the entranceway, would they like a jockey with their racing colors that identifies their stable for the restaurant? So they took it and they had it outside. So that started a history where it was sort of a really prestige thing and a place of honor, and I think we have in total about 34 outside there, and we have 4 on the sidewalk as well. Jack Crindler and Charlie Burns were the original owners of 21, dating back to 1930, and they actually had 3 other locations prior to moving to 21 on New Year's Eve 1929. Previously, they had been at 42 West 49th Street. What they did, knowing they were losing their lease at midnight, is they had a New Year's Eve party, black tie, with all their best customers, and you know, anyone who was anyone at that time, you know, it was a hot ticket to get. So at midnight, what they did is they handed out axes and shovels, and you know, to bust the place up, because they were going to be leaving, and it was going to be leveled the following week anyway. And they said they would be moving up to their new location on West 52nd Street. So as they were busting up the inside of the place, they did take the tables and chairs and the illegal wine casks that they had in the basement. And as they were leaving, one of the people who were in the group, one of the customers said, well, let's take the gates too. So they picked up the iron gates that were outside, brought them up, and we still have them in front of the building today. The black wrought iron gates actually came from 49th Street. So it was interesting how everything arrived here. More and more people, you know, finding out that even after 80 years that, gee, I thought 21 was always a private club. I didn't realize I could go there. So it's part of our marketing that we have to do really day in and day out, is to just alert everybody that yes, we are open and we are available and we're here for you.
This is really something. And then you dig on the internet and you look things up and you find little nuggets of history to put into your spiel when people ask questions. I'm very proud to be a part of this history. I hope that I get to contribute to the history in the grand scheme of things, but you know, there's a bigger scene going on than just me, so like I said, it's all inspiring.
It's really amazing that people just never seem to get enough of it. You know, they just love talking about what New York was and is, and the fact that you're authentic and you have so much to see here. It's really a great slice of New York City for anybody, even people living in the city, you know, to come and view.